So welcome guys into the Courland Pocket.
One of the cool things about Courland is that there is many abandoned buildings just like this one. These guys are shouting through the woods here. No, are you serious?
It's an SS outside.
Jeez, man, that's crazy. Good morning. Welcome to a very special episode where we travel farther than we have ever done for a metal detecting trip. We're actually taking a plane for this one. Obviously, we had to start the day off with a beer. Now, today we are flying over to Riga in Latvia. This is our starting point, where we're going to briefly visit the city and then drive towards the Courland Pocket. So let me quickly give you a little bit of background history about this area. In the autumn of 1944, German forces in Latvia were cut off by the advancing Red Army. What followed became known as the Courland Pocket, an isolated front along the Baltic coast where tens of thousands of German troops held out for months. Between October 1944 and May 1945, Soviet forces launched repeated large-scale offensives to crush the pocket, but despite heavy losses, the Germans managed to dig in and hold their ground in dense forests, swamps and hastily built trench systems. While the outcome of the war had already been decided elsewhere, this front remained active, almost forgotten. It wasn't until Germany's final surrender in May 1945 that the remaining troops laid down their arms. Let's find out together what remains of this bitter fighting that once took place here. But before we do, as mentioned, we're going to briefly visit the city first. So after a short drive, we arrived at our first stop, the Latvian War Museum in Riga. Now there surely was a lot to see, and it gave us our first glance of equipment that was left behind and the history of the battles that took place here. This is a must-see if you visit Latvia. Afterwards we enjoyed our first Latvian beer together with some delicious local food before we had to head back to the car and drive out to our holiday home. We finally made it there, and after the usual arguments about who's claiming which bet, I put my metal detecting equipment on the charger. Good thing I always bring my own power strip. We enjoyed some more Latvian beers before getting some well-needed shut-eye. The next morning we got up early, and that's when the metal detecting trip really started. We got into the car and drove to the first location. This is where we got our first impressions of the former Battlegrounds. There is no better way to experience an environment than by driving through it and seeing it for yourself. Alright, so as you can see, we finally arrived at the first location of the day. Really happy to be here. We were in the process of setting up our stuff. We were invited by Davis from Warfinds to join him in the beautiful Courland Pocket. It's late in the season. That makes for some beautiful scenery, and we're lucky that the weather today is on our side. So Davis, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what exactly happened here?
Yes, so welcome guys into the Courland Pocket. This was the front line of the end of 44, and one of the big major battles of Courland when the Soviets tried to push the Germans deeper into Courland. And the front line was not far from here. We will metal detect around the first trenches. We'll see what we can find. But basically it was one of the 6 battles, and we are today metal detecting the first major battle, and we'll see what the day brings.
I don't know if you can see it, but there is a major dugout here. And actually right next to it, the first interesting find of the day is from Tim. He's over there in the back. There we go. That is a huge shell casing, man. I think that is a Soviet one. I think these are called Shvak. It's probably 23mm caliber. So I think this one dropped from the sky, fired by an airplane. That is a really big shell casing. That's a good start of the day. Yeah, we're so lucky with the weather. It all cleared up and the sun is shining. And I just found a Wehrmacht button right over here. Not too interesting, although it is a good sign. But while I was digging it up, I got a call from Josh, who's somewhere over there in the bushes, shouting that he found something nice. So let's make our way over to him and see what he found exactly. So he's hiding somewhere in this thick brush. All right, let's see.
German Mestin.
Oh, nice, man. With the handle still on. That's a German Eskeschier, that's called. Oh, there's even the original red paint still in there. That's a good condition.
It's gonna turn out pretty... Oh, there's a name.
Are you serious? I was just about to make a comment about that there could be a name on there, but that would be really awesome. Yeah, you're right. So we should definitely brush that up and see if we can reveal the name on there. It could also just be initials, but...
Yeah, I think it's initials.
Oh, that's really cool.
There's an M and an I think.
Yeah, an M and an I. Oh, you see there... I think you see red paint under the green paint.
Yeah.
And in there, you see red paint. So I would almost think that this one has been painted over.
Yeah, you can actually see the strikes of the paint.
Yeah. Oh, that is awesome, man. With the handle still on. Maybe the other part of the Mestin is still in there, because this is called the Eskeschier.
So.
Yeah, there would have been a container underneath, which was called the Kochgeschier. And together they would make the mess kit. It seems that was the signal.
Yeah,
that is a really nice find, man. Sometimes you don't even have to dig to find World War II relics. Right next to this dugout. Right there, I just stumbled across this. This object was already laying here on this tree, and this is a German gas mask canister in a very rotten state. The aluminum liner is still on the inside, and this is just, it's all rotted away. There's no gas mask anymore in there. But it is a remain of the equipment that all the soldiers carried. So it's a really nice sign. It's good to see this stuff is still here, and yeah, hoping to find more. Oh, look at this. So what did we find here?
Quite a large one. It
Yeah.
was, you know, melody to my ears.
Yes, I can imagine.
But I'm not sure if it's German or Soviet. I think it's Soviet.
There should be markings on there.
We will definitely check. I see 43.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so
It's a big shell.
World War
man.
II. Yeah, it is.
The brass is always good.
Broken a bit, but otherwise, yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's a nice
Maybe
relic.
from a tank, because we got an information that here could be a tank position.
Tank position, yeah. There's a main road going there, so this is a strategic
This is
position.
a Soviet.
Soviet?
Soviet one, yeah. 43G. Got
There in the middle.
Here, yeah.
Yeah,
43.
nice one. Nice brass shell case.
Yeah,
Very
at least
nice.
something, finally, yeah.
Right next to this massive bomb crater. I think it's a bomb crater. I found my first interesting find of the day, and that is a German Pioneer shovel. German entrenching tool. Look at that, that's a very recognizable shape. Every soldier carried one of these on their back. And yeah, I thought at least we could maybe brush it up a little bit and make it more recognizable. And this part is also the recognizable part. So the wood is obviously gone, but the shovel itself is not too bad actually. And there we go. German Pioneer shovel. Do you want to get your hands on some exclusive World War II artifacts? Make sure to check out my shop and see which items are currently available. You can now sign up for our newsletter to make sure you'll be among the first to know when there are new arrivals. Well, we're there. We had quite the drive, and I must say, interesting place to park the car. That's what we're going to detect. So I guess we're just leaving the car here. This is all normal in Latvia, no problem. Just park the car wherever you want. So we have permission on these fields and also in those woods. So we are on our last hour of daylight, detecting this forest edge right next to a set of fields. And I got a very decent signal here, and it seems that I found a spoon from aluminum. I still have to pull it out, so we can do that together. Ooh, it is complete! Isn't it a Soviet one?
Yeah.
Soviet?
100%.
Yes?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never found that before. Do you think there's Cyrillic writing on there? We should brush that up. It can be a really nice one. Alright, let's brush that up a little bit. I really hope there's going to be some writing on there.
Or trenchard.
trench art would also be awesome. It's even more special.
Sometimes the soldiers leave their names on it.
Yeah.
Looks like an E, no?
Yeah, I think so.
There's writing on there?
It's usually the name, surname, like E, A.
Oh, there looks to be initials in there. Does it look like initials?
Yes.
I and L or something? Really interesting. Yeah, that's a nice spoon. So these guys tell me it's Soviet.
So you can see the line here, the soldier made a line. And on this side he made the same line, but he added his initials.
Yeah.
So it's the T, probably from his surname, and I. It looks like I. We need to clean it a bit more, but this looks like I. So maybe Igor, you know, Igor, Tikhonov or something like that, you know, typical Russian Soviet name. But it's clearly visible.
Right, so as you can see, we are detecting all around here. And well, there's a major dugout right there. There's also one in the back, one right there, and one right there. So there's a lot of activity in these woods. And right here, my buddy Carlos is helping me over here. I just found a small button down there. And it's actually made from iron, so it's not in the best condition. But you can clearly see a star there. It's a Soviet star, so this is a Soviet uniform button. So we're finding some signs of activity here. That's a really good sign. So I am digging right next to one of these squared earth bunkers again. And they're actually very big dugouts, and there were maybe 4 or 5 soldiers at least staying for a longer period of time in these bunkers. And they actually built a wooden platform over it, so they actually had a roof over their heads. Right on the side of this dugout. Interestingly, I found another German pioneer shovel. So they definitely used this to dig this earth hole. Apparently they discarded this entrenching tool. But yeah, very typical to find an entrenching tool right next to this massive dugout. One of the cool things about Courland is that there's many abandoned buildings just like this one, and it so happens that we have permission to explore this abandoned structure because it's on the land of the farmer that we know. This man is with us, and he saved this place for us to explore. So we are now just walking around the premises to see what we see, and also to find an entrance inside. I think the guys on the other side are already climbing in. But there are stories that there can be World War II artifacts hiding in the attics of these kind of buildings. So yeah, we did bring our pinpointers, and we will see if there's something to go through, if there's like a dust layer or anything where relics can be hidden. We're going to check that out. But yeah, so that said, I'm gonna also make my way inside. This has been abandoned for a while. Look at that. Let's check this out. This must have been the wooden shack. There's pieces of wood here everywhere. Old clothing. Look at that. I love urban exploring, guys. You know, I like detecting more, but I really like the urban exploring hobby. So every now and then when we get a chance, we definitely go for it and explore these abandoned structures. All right, almost on the other side where the guys should be. Man, what a mess. So much clothing in the back there. That's the entrance. Hey, buddy. Hey, there's another one. The house owner brought us 2 doggos. There's 2 dogs. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Inside. Man.
Well, hello there.
Hello there. Have you discovered something already?
Not really. You want to start a close?
Is there there is an attic there, right?
Some old cameras from the 90s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there is an attic.
There is an attic.
Yeah. Carlos is already there.
This is the attic?
Yeah, but they climbed through this hole.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Chris, could you grab my... Perfect. Yes, sir.
And there we are. It's the upstairs. Let's see.
Be really careful when you're walking around because the whole foundation is wooden.
Yeah,
So there's a possibility some places are a little bit wonky.
yeah. It's an old bottle.
This used to be an old. That's our ink.
Ink?
Ink?
Yeah, an old ink bottle. But it's
yeah.
USSR product.
Wow. There's a lot of stuff in between all of this hay.
Yeah, it is actually an attic.
Look at this. I think that's Kriegsmarine? Probably not.
Hey, wait,
There's an anchor on that button. But yeah.
You see some German writings from a German ammunition box.
Are you serious?
Yes. Or a
No.
Soviet one.
Soviet?
Yeah, it's Soviet. You see the hand, the closing part?
Oh wow.
This is ammunition box from the Soviets. Yeah.
So
I
there
found,
is World War II stuff here.
I found so many.
Let me give you guys a close-up of this ammo box part. So there is Cyrillic writing there. Yeah. You fill me in. I don't speak Russian, but it's really old.
Good sec.
Find anything cool?
1966.
1966.
See, this is the early Soviet times. Yeah.
Wow.
It means the name is Battle.
Yeah.
You can see the USSR logo here.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, here is the 60.
Wow.
66, 12 February. The price is 2 kopecks, and there's like a lot of those here.
It's really haunting to go through all of this stuff and yeah, see how long this has been abandoned for.
Yeah,
Really
exactly,
haunting.
exactly. And sometimes there's World War I stuff, on top there's World War II stuff, then
Yeah.
there's Soviet era, and the 90s again back.
That's crazy. Right, it's time to get out of here. That was really exciting to be a part of. And just like that, another day came to an end. The following morning, we got up early to metal detect the area around this abandoned barn. While we were doing so, Davis and some of the guys hopped back into the house to look for more artifacts. Davis was so kind to borrow me this footage. They found some German and Soviet coins from the wartime. They even found a piece of newspaper under the floorboards. It's about Hitler when he visited Latvia in July 1941. I just dug up this iron shell casing. It's the bottom part of it, the rest is rotted away. That came from there, right next to it. So I excavated a little bit further there. I thought I was going to be finding a license plate, but unfortunately it's not. But there was also a third object in there, and that is a flare casing. Look at that, an aluminum flare casing. There's usually writing on these. As you can see, it's really busy down here. We are detecting here with like 8 men right along this riverbank, because the guys in the past found some German helmets here. So I am just swinging around my detector on the embankment, and I got a 94 signal, and look what just popped up. That is a massive coin. And I already had a small peek. Look at that condition. It's a two-headed eagle. It says 1823 something on the bottom. And on the other side it says like 5 kopek. So this coin is like 200 years old. So it's pre-World War II, but it's still very cool. And I wanted to share it with you for that reason. That's the biggest coin I found. I really thought for a moment that I found a medal, but still a really nice find. So we are detecting this stretch of land of former forest, but it has almost all been cut down. And right here, my buddy Rob is excavating a big object. Yes, there we go. It's a casing, man. That's awesome. Is that Soviet? I'm not sure. See if there's markings there.
We got some water, I can clean it.
Just trying to clean it a little bit with a fine copper brush. See if you can make some of those markings clear.
There's something.
Right, so there in the middle of the screen you can see 43. So this is a Soviet shell casing from 1943. Presumably this is from a tank. Look at this terrain. That's what we have to go through just to swing the metal detector. We were actually headed to a pine forest there in the back. And this is what we have to cross. But the nice thing is, on the way there's already signals everywhere. And Rob just called me over, told me that he found many Soviet PPSH rounds.
Look at this.
Yeah?
Yeah. Look. I'm not sure what it is, but looks like a box or something.
Ammo box?
Ammo box. It's full with...
What? Weren't those made from cardboard, those boxes? So maybe that rotted away?
I have some pieces here, so I think you're right. Looks
cardboard.
Like, yeah, cardboard.
Yeah. And this is all rounds. Look at that.
Yeah.
So that was definitely an ammo box.
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting. Okay, you can see some paper bits there.
Yeah.
Maybe this is like 100 rounds or something. Just all clustered together. That's crazy. These guys are shouting through the woods here. Maybe you can hear that. So we've been at it for a while, waiting for the first banger. And they're shouting at me, Chris, come over. We got the first banger of this trip. So let me see. Almost there.
And it's an SS.
It's Doctor? No. Are you serious?
It's an SS.
Jeez, man, that's crazy. Alright guys, there's the close-up. Look at that. There's the SS mark. There's a double SS mark actually, because you could split this in half. So what does it say exactly? Vrijwilliger, from like volunteer? Could be. I'm not sure.
You'll clean it a bit better.
Yeah, for sure. We have to clean it further, but that's crazy, man. We knew there were SS positions here, but...
It's a legionary, yeah, because it's FRAV, it's voluntary,
Yeah,
so it's from either 1st or 2nd Latvian division.
So this is from the SS Latvian volunteers.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is crazy.
Great condition.
Yeah, the condition is
Very
really,
good
really
condition,
awesome.
actually, yeah. Very nice. Actually, I'm surprised myself.
So on the other side there's also markings. That's not really common, I believe. What an awesome find. We were actually invited to this spot by Courland Relics. You can find him on Instagram. Really happy that he's the one to find this very interesting artifact. This dog tag says 15th SS Latvian Voluntary Division. At the end of the war, when the fighting in Courland was still going on, quite a lot of German troops were evacuated from this pocket back to Germany by boat. We found out that the 15th SS Latvian Division was one of those troops. So this division first fought in the Courland Pocket, and in the final days of the war they were brought back to Germany, where they fought until May 1945. My buddy over here found a couple of Wehrmacht buttons, but they are not just any buttons. Look at the one in the middle. That one has white paint on it, and that matches perfectly with the winter fighting that took place here. That white paint indicated the winter camouflage. So they were in these forests, probably overlooking those fields in foxholes with their winter camouflage gear on. So yeah, I've actually never seen that before. But a really perfect example again of an artifact that matches the story of the location that we're visiting. So that's really, really remarkable. Big thanks to Davis from Warfinds for taking us along on this awesome battlefield tour. Go and find him on TikTok and Instagram. We really appreciate the hospitality and the adventure, of course. Alright guys, that's it for another video. Hope you enjoyed this special episode to the Courland Pocket in Latvia. We will be back with more videos. Don't forget to check out our Patreon if you haven't already, to get some exclusive content and support us while you're at it. So we will be back with more, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, take care.